Hi friends, I am Natalya at Mom's Dish. Today we are making fried poppy seed piroshky. This is my mom's recipe. I loved it for years and I still make it to this day, and you are just gonna love this recipe. We are starting with half a cup of milk. I have lukewarm milk. You want it to be at around 110 degrees, 110 to 115. I'm gonna do about half a cup in here. You need total of 2 cups of milk, but we're just using about half a cup for the start. Tablespoon of sugar. And then I'm dumping in this yeast. You guys, I'll list all the measurements below because it's really hard to mention them as I go, but we're gonna let this sit here and get activated. You'll see the yeast bubbling up. This is actually a great way to check if your yeast is fresh and bubbly. So we're gonna set this aside as we work on the other part of it. While our yeast. While our yeast is activating, I am gonna combine the rest of the ingredients in this large cup, whatever this is. You can use a large bowl or a mixing bowl. I am adding the remaining milk in here, and we're gonna add 4 cups, not 4 cups, 4 eggs. There's no cups. Okay. And you want your eggs to be at room temperature, but if they're not, that's totally fine. I'm just dumping them all in here. Then we have that remainder of sugar. Total sugar was about a half a cup. I used some of it for that yeast mixture, but we're adding the remainder in here. A pinch of salt, just gives you a little better flavor for the sweet yeast dough, still needs some salt. Then I'm adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then we have 1/4 of a cup of oil. I think I'm using canola oil, but you can use olive or avocado oil, that works. Please don't come for me in comments about canola oil. I use it sometimes. And then we have some sour cream. It's about 2 tablespoons. Actually, it is 2 tablespoons. And we are gonna whisk all of this up together. To this mixture, we need to add 1 cup of flour. I am using all-purpose flour. I typically go for Bob's red mill flour. That's my go-to flour. I love it for all of our recipes. It's higher in protein. It usually makes everything super fluffy and like perfect texture. It makes all the difference. So 1 cup of flour. We will need total of 6 cups for the entire recipe, but we'll add the remaining flour later on. So I'll set this aside and just whisk it all together. Our mixture is nice and smooth here, and then I'm adding that yeast mixture with milk into here. And we're just gonna whisk it in. Our yeast has been bubbled up. That means it's fresh, it's good to go. And we're just gonna whisk this up again. We're gonna cover this with a towel and let it sit for an hour. This is what my mom did. And I feel like this plays an effect in the recipe, so I don't skip this step. I just let it sit. This is a great recipe to make when you have errands around the house. Not errands, like don't leave the house because it only needs to sit for an hour. But like if you're doing laundry or other things, this will sit and then you can come back to it and continue working on it. After about an hour, our mixture is nice and bubbly. And if I was doing this just for our family, I probably would have started the whole process in a mixing bowl. I just love showing it on camera in a glass bowl, but we're gonna move this over to a mixing bowl and we're gonna do the rest of the steps in here because it just makes it so much easier. So I'm just dumping this in. So unnecessary to make this 2-step process, but all the things we do for video cameras and videos. Okay. So bubbly, so beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna attach this to my mixer, the mixing bowl. Oh, I cannot see. I'm gonna start out slowly so I don't get myself all messy in flour, and then speed up and continue kneading until it's all incorporated, and then I'll add a little more flour as we go. Okay, that flour is basically incorporated. I'm gonna add a little more. You can dump it all in. I just like to do a little bit at a time. I feel like it's a little bit of a smoother process. Lift this back up and just add it in. Okay, dumping in the rest of the flour. Once you add the remaining flour, you're gonna knead this on medium speed for about 10 minutes. If you are doing this by hand, it takes much longer. Eventually it does come together, it becomes all elastic. My mom always did it by hand. She never used the KitchenAid mixer. I think it was like the classic Ukrainian way of doing things. But I mean, now that we have KitchenAid, it just speeds up my process. Okay, our dough is nice and elastic. I'm gonna move this over. remove the bowl. I'm gonna show you how it comes out. Like this is how it just nicely comes out. Like the mixer thing. What do you call this? A hook. Comes out very cleanly, but the dough is sticky. Just keep that in mind. This is a sticky type of dough. It's kind of like a donut dough. It's not very, I don't know how to explain it. It's more runny, like you see it right here. It's more sticky, it's more runny, but once it rises, it's not gonna stick to your hands as much. I am gonna move it over to an oiled bowl, completely unnecessary, but I just like to do it. But you can keep it in your mixing bowl if you want to. I'm just gonna move it over, hold on. Let me scoop this out and dump it in. We are gonna cover this and let it rise for an hour. I needed about 6 cups, 6 to 6.5 cups of flour. Depending on the brand you use, you may need less or more, but it should be quite sticky. So don't worry that it's sticky like this. See, like once it's kneaded, it is coming off of my hands. It's a little messy, but still coming off of my hands. So the dough should easily come off, but it will be soft and slightly sticky. Our dough has literally doubled or tripled. It's all the way to the top. It looks gorgeous. For the filling, I am using poppy seed filling. We have a recipe for this on Mom's Dish. If you want to make your own, you can sometimes purchase it in like European markets, or the stores have poppy seed filling. You can also use jam filling for this. I'm just like a total fanatic of poppy seeds, and this is what we're doing in this recipe, and that's the way my mom made them. I am adding a little bit of oil on a plate to oil my hands, just slightly. I don't need a lot of oil, just so the dough doesn't stick to my hand. I'm gonna break off a little bit of this dough, and maybe I need a little more oil. The dough is sticky, but that's fine, because that's what makes the dough, the piroshky fluffy. Okay, I'm gonna stretch it out, and we're gonna make them round. We're not gonna make them long. Usually you'll see piroshky long, but this is almost like, I don't know if you heard of word ponchiki. It's kind of like that shape. They're gonna be round or like donut holes. That's a good description for them. Okay, you place the filling on the inside and then pinch it all around and hide it. And sometimes I play a little bit to see how big I want them to be. I feel like this one's kind of on the big side. Maybe I'll make the next one smaller. Shape it up like this, and then I'm gonna place it on a plate and just make several of them. I'm oiling my hands, and then I'm gonna break off a little piece and then flatten it out. And like I said, you don't need a lot of oil. You don't want the oil to be, or like the dough to be all oily. You want to still be able to pinch together. And then we're gonna pinch it and make it like a donut hole shape, like round shape, or a little ball. That's another description. That's really good for this. To fry piroshky, I have some oil going. We have good deep amount of oil, and you want the oil to reach about 350, 375. Mine is a little bit more than that, 395. But that's still fine, because if I dump in a lot of them at the same time, it's gonna cool down a little bit. So I'm gonna dump in a few, leaving some space in between each one. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. That's why I'll pre-make several of them. Now I can dump them all in together. So excited! I'm really tempted to add one more. I think we're gonna find space for one more. As they cook, you want to turn them over, and they tend to flip over because they're round. They're like, you want them all to be nice and golden all around. They fluffed up so much. They're so beautiful. Continue flipping. There's a few stubborn ones that keep turning over. When you remove piroshky from the oil, I let them rest on this like paper towel, because you want that oil to get absorbed just at least a little bit, because we're trying to make them healthier. This recipe makes a lot of them, so keep that in mind. You can have the recipe, or
have people over.
Or have people over, or share with your friends. I always make the whole recipe. Sometimes we freeze some. I'm actually planning to take some of these to our friend's house. This is only half of them though. Just keep that in mind too. So there's a lot, but this dough is so good. Let's dig in.
You'll know her secret of making friends.
That's my love language. I feed people. Do you want to try one?
I'll try one.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Is it hot?
Is that fine if I pick another one? I want something like...
Oh, mine is so hot.
Oh, I got the poppy seeds. You don't.
I don't, not yet.
Now, a little secret. Poppy seeds are literally the #1 food that you like, right? Besides coffee. I feel like if you can live on one kind of food or two kind of food, is that how you say it?
Feed.
For the rest of your life, it would be poppy seeds and coffee. Well, and you like dough. I don't know, something like this.
Yeah, this is like my dream food. I love it. The dough is like soft, almost like a donut dough. Crispy on the outside with poppy seeds on the inside. It's uniquely, it's a little different than typical piroshky dough because it's softer. Most of the piroshky dough is a little more stretchy, but I love this. Like this is perfect for poppy seed poppy seed piroshky. I can't think.
When you said donut, I think that perfectly describes it. It is chewy, and the poppy seeds. Why isn't it more common in America? The poppy seeds they genuinely are delicious. Is delicious.
You keep talking.
Are delicious.
You can keep talking. I'm gonna keep eating. This recipe is epic, worth all of those wait times that you waited. It's so good. I hope you guys make this recipe and we'll bring out more of my mom's classic recipes on our YouTube channel. We'll be back. Bye.
See ya.